Okay, so I think it is time to start now. Uh, Good evening, everybody. I'm Rohan. I would like to welcome everybody here on behalf of the entire Programming Club committee. Website Making Challenge was one of our flagship events last year, and we are glad to have received a good amount of registrations for WMC2. We are excited to see what you guys make during this event. This is the first event of the Programming Club's new committee, and for the coming year, our vision is going to be to promote and improve the coding culture in the university through events, education, and exposure. We wish to help you guys bridge the gap between theoretical computer science and industrial requirements. And that is how we plan to roll and go. So this is the committee for the year 2021 to 22.
So, if you guys do observe, the position names are written in a different way. So, like, we would love if you guys take a guess about what the person's actual position or role is in the chat. So, please write in chat if you figure out who is in what role.
Yeah. And we will soon be opening our doors to welcome new committee members. So keep an eye out for that.
Hello everyone. Once again, welcome to Website Making Challenge 2.0. So before we get started, just one thing. Please keep interacting through chat. Chat is our way of interacting, and at the end we have a Q&A session, so we'll address all the questions at the end. But meanwhile, if you have some questions, please feel free to just type it out in the chat. And yes, so what is all the fuss about? What is a Website Making Challenge? So Website Making Challenge aims to teach you how to develop a website from scratch. And how it differs a bit is that we also believe in learning by implementing. So you would also learn through sessions, and simultaneously by implementing what you learn, you would also learn in that manner. And Website Making Challenge also would provide you a structured guidance or a basic roadmap for the basics of website, how to build a website. And it would also provide you expert mentorship, and your project being reviewed by judges who work in the industry. So there are some perks of WMC2. So let me straight away get to the perks, because that's the thing that we are perks are interesting at the end. So the first perk would be that you would have a project to add on your resume. The second perk would be that you would get guidance and mentorship from expert web developers who have done projects in web development and also have experience in that. Winners would get a certificate of excellence, and a certificate of participation would also be awarded to the participants. But the criteria being that you would have to successfully submit the working prototype of your project. Winners would also get a cool t-shirt, and that's a swag we're introducing this time. Winners would get a really cool t-shirt, a funky cool t-shirt, and there are also some secret benefits we'll be giving out to the winners. So yes, and just one thing before we get on to the session. This session aims to introduce you to the complete process flow, guidelines of Website Making Challenge, what all fun we are going to have. And I'm sure you all must be as excited as we are and enthusiastic as we are.
So all of your cameras are switched off, but we are assuming that this would be your reaction, because we are super excited to have you all and to see what you would develop. So moving on, discussing about the flow and the session plan. So now that you know what WMC is aiming at, we'll be having sessions on various topics, so that even if you are a beginner or you have no experience in web development, you can still create a very amazing, very cool website. So the sessions that we would be covering would be on the topics HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React.js. React.js is a front-end framework, Node.js and Django. Node.js and Django are the backend frameworks. Now, talking about the whole WMC plan, we'll be yes. So we'll be providing you 5 problem statements, and you'll have to pick at least. You'll have to give preference for 3 of the. Just a minute. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. Yes. So yes, you'll be having to provide 3 preference, and we'll be allotting all the problem statements on the basis of first come, first serve. We'll be discussing on how would you have to give reference, how would you have to give preference a little later. Now talking about the doubts and discussion, you'll have to join the Discord server. I'll be pasting the link for the Discord server and the WhatsApp group in the chat in a while. So you can join the Discord server. You can have your all the doubts and discussions, answered there by your mentors. And you can also have meetings over the Discord server. You can explore the whole Discord server. There are different channels and different voice channels for every topic and every problem statement. For WhatsApp group, that is mainly to share all the general guidelines and all the announcements. We would also be reminding you about all the sessions and all the meetings on the WhatsApp group. Now, talking about something very important, which is the deadline. The deadline to submit your whole website would be 25th July. We would be accepting all the responses till midnight, that is 11:59 p.m. And we would be discussing about how would you have to submit your website and where would you have to upload it as the event proceeds.
Now let's look at the problem statements.
Yep. So we have 5 problem statements. So starting with the first one, PG Finder. As okay, sorry, not all of you would have would have visited the college offline, but so if you have visited the college offline and you are not from Ahmedabad, you know that you have to look for PG or hostel. If you are considering hostel, just contact to seniors first. So now going to the talking about the idea of this PG Finder. So what we are bringing here is we should be able to find the PG surrounding our colleges. So what would the key features about it? So the first one would be to have a page where we could see all the existing PGs there listed down with the how good food they provide, or how good is the accommodation, how good is the environment, and students should be able to rate and also filter these PGs according to the location, price range, etc. So the second thing would be to have an admin panel. Well, the admin would be able to look through all the requests for adding new PGs, and all admin would be able to edit the content if there are some changes needed to be done. So now what would the admin accept? So there would be a page where you can add new PGs. So whenever a new PG is added, the PG owner would make a request to the admin to add the new PG on the site, and the admin would then refer to the request containing all the stuff like location, photos, number of rooms, and contact number details, and etc. And this all information would be approved by admin. So this would after the approval of admin, it would be listed on the PG's page. Now in every single problem statement, we have something called brownie points. So it's the feature that is not necessary to implement, but it's a feature that if you implement it, it would really help you during the evaluation time. So for this problem statement, we have the location API using the location API. Basically, instead of typing out where you want to search the PGs, it should detect the location from your browser itself automatically. That would be the brownie point for this.
I think, Parshva, through this problem statement, we have really hit and touched a hard nerve. I mean, everyone is just wanting to come back to campus and enjoy the college life. So I really think that this project would be of great value, as many people would search for PGs.
Definitely, even I'm really excited to get back to the college. And if you guys really want to join to the college, please check this to-do list as soon as possible.
Get vaccinated, everyone. Will be vaccinated as soon as possible.
So why are we keeping the to-do list here? So we have another idea of problem statement that we are calling it student companion. So it would help student to track all the progress in the academic structure and manage their time and stuff, their assignments. So what would be the key features about it? It would have a to-dos where you can list all your assignments, upcoming quizzes, exams, tests, whatever, and it would give you the reminder for each of the tasks if you are allowing it to. Then second thing would be the admin panel. Admin would be able to add and design the courses. Just as in the ORS, we have the detail of all courses. Admin would be able to add this type of courses, and admin would enroll the student into the courses. Now there would be a page where you would we would have a track of what is the completed courses till now. So how would this help? Because in AU we have GERs and core courses, and we do have the criteria that we have to have some credits in GER, some credits in core course, some credit in major electives. So this would display all of this information in a short brief, and user will be able to add their newly completed courses in this. So it would automatically update the summary part. What else would be in it would be the rating of courses, because whenever the course registration is around, everyone is like talking to other guy like, oh भाई वो course कैसा है भाई, उसमें register कर सकते हैं नहीं कर सकते क्या है. So instead of all that, we could have this here, because having it here you would be able to rate the course, you would be able to rate the faculty or the grading or course content, how good was the communication, etc. And user then would be able to filter it out according to the category or faculty or whatever the rating they want. Now the brownie point for this would be a resume maker. As we all know that resume is quite important for our student journey or a university graduate. So the resume maker would help you. How the resume maker would be, so it would take all the information from your side, and then it would create a resume from some templates, which would be the ATS approved. Basically, it would ATS means that it would read your PDF of your resume and would extract all the required information out of it. So if your resume is ATS approved, then it would be automatically fetched by the different. Okay, sorry, I would slow down a bit. So yes, it would be helpful for the companies to get your information out of it. Now
I think, Parsha, that this one would be really helpful and of value to me, because I'm always confused how many GRs have I completed, how many free credits are left, and the great thing would be that if any course is rated, so I know that okay, this is a good rated free elective or a GR to take, and I'll take it in the next semester or so.
Yep, definitely. So sorry,
I guess
screen.
There is some technical error. Just a second. I'll share it. Just a second.
Yeah, agreed, Siddharth. In the meanwhile, if anyone has something, so you can write it down in the chat box.
Also, maybe when you start this project, it starts off as a very starter and beginner friendly project, and you work on it. But soon it starts to gain momentum. You find the idea, you find the vision behind the project, and you form a team of yours, and you take this project forward. You can build your own student project through this idea.
Yes,
So
definitely.
also that this project can have a long vision. Like it's not just limited to this competition, but you can take it forward.
And not only the one idea, we are talking about every idea that we have in the every problem statement in the list. So coming to the next problem statement, it's a quiz web app. So as I guess all of you would have attended at least one of the quiz from the quiz club. So they are actually hosting the quizzes on the Zoom right now. So what we are planning to create here is that it's a quiz web app where people or clubs can host their own quizzes. So how would this go? There would be three types of user: a quiz master, an attendee, and the third one is just brownie. If you want to add, you can. That's a guest user. Guest user is just attendee, but he would not have to register on our portal. Now, what is the quiz master and attendee would do? The quiz master would be able to create and organize different quizzes, and the attendee would be able to register for it and would be able to attend the quiz. Now, what would the quiz contain? The quiz contains multiple questions, obviously, and each of this question would be of different types. Either it would be a normal MCQ, or it would be a timer question, or it would be a buzzer question. So as we know that timer question basically means it have to be answered in certain time period, like 30 seconds or somewhat. And the buzzer question would be, we would have multiple people attempting the quiz at the same time, and the first one to answer would get the points and other ones will not. So what the quiz also have different type of grading methods. Either it would be a normal cumulative grading, or it would be something like negative marking system, which we are all aware about. So quiz must have a shareable link from where people would be able to register, and if they are already registered, they would be able to participate in the quiz. Now it also must have a leaderboard to display all the winners or the participants and where do they stand. Now there are two more brownie features we are seeing over here. That is, one is quiz should have a difficulty rating or popularity rating that's actually calculated from how many people actually registered for it and how many actually attempted it. And there could be a team quiz feature. So what would team quiz feature be? Like multiple participants can form a team, and then they will see the same question on the page and they will be able to answer it, or any one of them will be able to answer it. A feature like that. And I hope you are not getting this type of question. If you are, just ask it in the chat box.
Please feel free to use the chat for any queries. Yes.
Yep. So now moving forward. Yep. So what we have, the next problem statement, this is the unified club portal. So we do have a lots of club events every week in our college. And once the offline mode starts, it would be just chaos. We would have a lot of events going around and it would be really hard to keep track of all the events. So what we are looking here is, it's a unified club portal where each club could post their own upcoming events, and each student would be able to get all the information about the club and the events, and then they can register on the same portal. So what would be the key feature about it? So there would be two major parts, an event and a club. Event would have their description, title, duration, time, registration, etc. features, and it would also have the place that we would have some posters or announcements. Like announcement would not be there, but it would be added later on if something is new, something new is added or something was left to say. Now what event would have, event would also have some place where we could actually store all the event reports, proposals, and other supporting document, which is actually used by the clubs and the administrators. So that is actually very helpful for the club itself. Now we are actually seeing two more brownie features in that. Can you please go back the slide? Yeah, thank you. So there would be a real-time registration and check-in stats, and there would be something like generating analytics report after the end of event. So what would be the real-time registration check-in stat? So we would have a registration area from where people can register in it, and we would have some check-in states. But to have it in real time, like without refreshing or without refreshing the page, you could see the real-time number. That would be really helpful. And for the club side, it would have an announcement page. Like it would have a club page where we would have the page where we would have all the upcoming event of the club, and there would be a club calendar. This is a brownie point, but this is a brownie feature, that it would have a club calendar where we can have all the all the events of the club listed by the dates. Okay. So another thing is which type of users we would have. There would be three type of users: admin, clubs, and participants. So what would the admin do? Admin would create and manage clubs. The clubs would be able to organize the club, send the invitation to all the people, and send the emails and notification to the members or the registered participants of the event. And what the participant would be able to see and search all the events, would be able to rate the events, and would be able to register as a member of any club, or would be able to register in any events. And it would also have the brownie part, saying it would have different type of event stats, like how many people registered and etc. And that would be visible to the clubs and admin. So moving forward, yeah. So this topic is actually for the people with no background in the programming. So if you don't have any background in the programming side, this is the problem statement you are looking for. So what we are planning over here is just create a simple description site. So it could be about anything, like a book you like, or a place you like, or some game or some app that you use every day, or some fictional character, or some real person. It's up to you. It could be of any kind. It would have 4 sections: a home section containing just some important feature about that. Then would be the about section, giving the in detail information about the person or whatever thing you are describing in the website. It would have feature and services or major points of popular area section, which would have some, like if you are describing a place, it would have some popular area section. If you are describing some app or game, it would have some feature or some major points in it, or whatever you are, it's upon what you are describing in it. And the last part would be about you, or the creator section, that would just give some little information about who you are and what you do.
So I'll just give you a small example to say for this. So let's say that you want to make a simple description site on Taj Mahal. So your home page would be just a simple page where there is a photo of Taj Mahal and something, a small paragraph is written about Taj Mahal. And in the about page, you could write everything in detail, where everything in detail information of Taj Mahal is given, the history and how it was built, etc., etc. And as Parsha mentioned that if it's a place, you could also add one more page that how do I reach to Taj Mahal, what are the best places to look around, etc., etc. And one page about you where you would be like, hey, I'm the creator, feel free to reach out, this is my email, etc. This is a very simple example.
Okay.
And
So
also,
moving forward.
can you go back to the previous slide, Aki? And please note that this website does not need to have a database connection, or it does not need to use any backend framework. It will be a static and non-responsive website.
Yep.
Right. So now that you know all these problem statements, I'd like to make a few of the things very clear that in the form, when you provide 3 preferences, if you do want to go for a static website, it is fine. You do not need to provide any other preferences. If you select the static website, you'll be allotted the static website. But in case if you do not go for the static website and if you go for any of the dynamic websites, please check the preferences a couple of times, so that when you allotted it, you must be able to make a website on it. I'm just repeating it again, that the preferences and the problem statements would be allotted to you on the basis of first come first serve. Now, talking about the grading rubrics, the things that you need to keep in mind while developing your website. First and foremost is creativity. Of course, the design, the look of the website, it is a very important feature, and you should obviously pay attention on it. Then clarity of code. You must write very good code, okay? And comments are like best friends for programmers, okay? Do not forget to write comments in your code. That would help us understand your code. Good programmers can write, code that can be understood by humans. But the best programmers would write code with the comments. So try to be a best programmer. Then dynamic is for those who would build a website including the backend portion. So it should have a couple of pages, like Parsha said, the admin page and the users page. So everyone should have different ports and different pages. Then originality, please do not pick up your code from any template. Please try to write your code from scratch. Responsiveness is a must. You can just inspect your website and check if it is responsive and if it would work on a mobile phone or not. So please try to make your web application or website responsive. Presentation, this would be something that would be considered while submitting your website. So we'll be talking about that. We'll be informing you about the presentation and the submission a little later, as soon as the event proceeds. But do keep in mind that presentation is an important point. And database design, how robust is your database and how neat it is also going to be a very important point.
Yes. So before I introduce you to the speakers and the mentors for the event, I'll just break down the flow again in very simple terms and in very simple sense, again, just for clarity. So we have 5 problem statements. The 5th problem statement is for participants with no prior programming experience. And as Mananshi said, today after the session, we will roll out a Google form. And in that Google form, you will have to fill out the preferences for the problem statement you want to select. And based on your preferences, and we'll allot you a problem statement that you will have to work on. And after that, we'll have sessions. We have also emailed you the session timings and dates. And when we'll email you the Google form, we'll also email you the PDF for the with detailed descriptions of the problem statement. So you could again read the problem statements in detail, think, choose a problem statement you're naturally motivated by, choose a problem statement that you feel, I really want to work on this problem statement. And we'll also provide you one more PDF containing the concept note, containing detailed rules and guidelines of Website Making Challenge 2.0. And for any doubts, please feel free to use the chat right now. The WhatsApp group is already made. Join the WhatsApp group and feel free to ask your questions there. Yes.
Atman, just a minute.
Yeah.
So Pratham, right? You had a question. What is the difference between static and dynamic? So static is something in very layman terms. Static is something that would not require any backend. Dynamic is something that would require a backend. So for static page, you can build it using HTML, CSS, JavaScript, very basic languages. And for dynamic website, you would have to fetch the data from somewhere. That is your backend. So that is a very, the very obvious difference, and in very layman terms. Please let me know if you need any more explanation.
Yeah. So moving on to the speakers. We have 4 speakers for the event, and the first speaker is Aman Dave. He is currently a product engineer at Leon, and he was also a full stack engineer at QZ. And he was a student developer at University of Nebraska-Lincoln in the Google Summer of Code 2019. He was an open source contributor there. The next speaker is Jimil Desai. Jimil Desai is currently a student developer at CERN HSF in the current Google Summer of Code 2021. And he's an open source contributor there. He's a full stack JavaScript developer. He's a cloud native enthusiast, and he is interested in Kubernetes and Golang. And Aman Dave would take the session for HTML, CSS. Jimil Desai would take the session of JavaScript. The next speaker is Kaushal Patil. Kaushal Patil is currently an AI instructor at the Shashwat Foundation. He was a full stack developer intern at CuratePad. He was also a backend developer intern at PedalsUp, and he was the head of engineering for 2021. That's this year's engineering that happened in March. So you must have definitely seen him there. And Kaushal would take the session of React.js and Node.js. The fourth and final speaker is Yashraj Kakkar. He is currently a summer analysis intern at Goldman Sachs. He was also a backend developer at CuratePad, and this guy practically needs no introduction because he was also the former secretary of the programming club and is the current Google DSC lead of DSC AU. And he has also spoken at many different sessions in different colleges, and he generally likes to talk about internships. He likes to talk about competitive programming and Django. Now let's see, we have 10 mentors this time, and let's see who those mentors are.
So mentors, like we mentioned before, are going to help you with your web dev journey. And you can ask them any of your doubts. You have errors that you're not able to solve. You cannot find solutions to that on the internet. You can just ping them. They'll help you with your errors. And if you want feedbacks on your website while making it, you'll also get that from the mentors. Now, first up is Akash Tikhe. He is the member of the technical staff at Accurate Data, and he has also been the DevOps intern at Elucid Data, along with being an SWE intern at Western International Group and the member of the technical staff at All in Calling. Next, again, you already know him, Jimil Desai. He's the GSOC 21 intern at CERN HSF, and he's a full stack JS developer.
The next mentor is Devash Patel. Devash Patel is currently a front-end developer at FlashTech, and he was also the winner of last year's WMC. And his areas of interest are Python, full stack development, data science, and machine learning. The next mentor is Parth. Parth is a backend developer intern at FlashTech, and he was also a part of the Girl Script Summer of Code 2021. And he was also the winner of last year's WMC.
Now, Kaushal Patil, we already introduced him. So he's going to be a speaker and a mentor, and I don't know what all roles that he's going to take up, because every time in any random event, you'll always see him in a head position or in a speaker position. So he's, I don't know, he's amazing. Okay, so now you have your super seniors, mentoring you, but you want some familiar faces, to mentor you. So now we have some of your seniors or your batchmates who are going to be mentors for this event. First up is Jaimik Patel. He was also the winner of the WMC for the slot booking system. He has developed the static website for AICHE. and he's a front-end developer, a full stack developer, and he is also interested in deep learning and applied research. Then next we have our own dear Parsha Shah. He's the founder and the CEO of Vector 32. He has also been a back-end intern at Adaptable. And along with some cool projects that he has done, he also likes to learn new technologies. But I have to inform you that if you do not find him learning new technologies, which is a rare case, you'll find him reading murder mysteries. So his introduction should basically read, please be aware of me because I read murder mysteries.
Parsha is a big Agatha Christie fan, so yeah, he's into murder mysteries.
Please be aware.
Yeah.
Only into murder mysteries and not murders. So
We'll see.
Yes. So the next mentor is Vinay Kakkad. Vinay is currently a part of the design team at Programming Club and the DSC AU. He helped in building this year's Ingenium website. He was also the runner-up in last year's WMC. He takes keen interest in technology and always loves talking about technology. Whenever I talk with him about technology, there is something that I'll definitely learn. And one very amusing fact about Vinay is that when he was 8 years old, he built a calculator in C programming language. I mean, that's really cool. That's something
a prodigy,
really
a
cool.
prodigy indeed. Come on.
Yeah, that's something really cool. The next mentor is Bhavya Peshavaria. He is currently a part of the undergraduate research program, and he is working on AI for 5G and 6G networks. He also helps in coding the functionalities of the backend server of the Stepwell, our very own Ahmedabad University Stepwell radio. And he's also working on this thing called Project Paris, where he is working on full stack technologies, and he's helping in stock data processing. He also takes keen interest in technology, and yes, a great man to talk tech about. The last and the next mentor is Forum Shah. She is currently an associate software developer intern at Querynom Solutions. Sorry, I got the pronunciation a bit here and there. She's also a front-end intern at Tasha Tech, and she is a student ambassador at Ahmedabad University. And she's also the social media head at Programming Club. So now you know who comes up with all the cool stories and Instagram captions posts that you see. So that's the part from our side. We have gone through the flow, we have gone through the mentors, we have gone through the speakers. And I'll repeat it again. We will email you the PDF containing all the problem statements in detail. We'll also email you the Google form where you'll get the option to choose the preferences. And we'll also email you the PDF of all the rules, guidelines, and code of conduct for the event. So yes, now we open ourselves for question and answers. Please feel free to unmute and ask questions, turn on your video, or the chat remains.
And we have one more suggestion. Please do not ignore the rules and guidelines PDF the way you ignore terms and conditions. Please go through that, because that's a very important thing while evaluating. So if you miss two or fail to go on with one of the guidelines, there could be some like consequences. So please read the guidelines and rules
very carefully. Yes. Grab a cup of coffee if you want, but read them.
Yes.
Yeah, so we open ourselves to questions. Any questions in the chat, or please feel free.
You can just unmute and speak.
Unmute and speak. Maybe I can stop the screen share so that I can see everyone. And
so for Django, you can use DB SQLite, Monish. While using Django, you can create your database using DB SQLite. You can also use MySQL and everything. If you're very comfortable with that, you can go with those databases as well. So Django is just a backend framework, but you can use any database that you're very comfortable with.
Yeah. And I'll just repeat it once again for the sake of clarity. Like we'll roll out the form, and also there'll be a deadline to the form that will be mentioned in the email.
Yes. And the sessions that we would be conducting would be HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React. React is a front-end framework, Node.js and backend. Backend, these are like Node.js and Django are the backend frameworks. So please keep in mind, and you'll learn everything from scratch. Even if you do not know H For the HTML, you learn everything from scratch. So it's fine. You can pick up any problem statement that you like that would motivate you, and you can build an amazing website from scratch.
Please feel free, guys. This is not a very formal event. It's just us, us, the community.
Yep.
And any questions about the problem statement, say the flow, say anything you're not clear about?
Also, I just wanted to add a point that if you want to use someone else's code, that is fine, but you need to give credits where they are due. You need to give references if you're using somebody
Yes,
else's code.
definitely.
And not the entire code, a section.
Yeah,
of
you
it.
obviously cannot use the
Section
entire.
of it. Yeah.
Also, Siddharth, yes, it would be a very nice idea. We are thinking of providing you of the resources, which would have the guidelines on how to deploy your website, like very quickly. Yes, you can deploy your website on Heroku if you already know how to do it. You can also use Firebase, and if it's a static website, you can always deploy it on GitHub. It would not take more than 2 minutes to deploy it on GitHub pages or on Firebase. So we'll be providing you resources, and we'll be also teaching you how to do that within the documents that we'll be sending you.
Yes.
And if it turns out to be a good, very nice, huge project, then it is for the betterment of you. So sure.
Yeah. So any question, please feel free. There is like no such thing as a very bad question. So yeah. Yes, Anjani, yes.
Yeah, hi. So like I had 2 questions. First of all, you have 5 problem statements or 5 categories. So the winners will be chosen from each of the categories, or it's an overall?
Okay,
winner?
yes, we should have mentioned it. Yes. So we would have one winner for each category and one runners up for each category. So for 5 problem statements, we would have 10 total winners and runners up.
By one, we mean one team. So like for
Yes,
each
one
problem
team.
statement, one team would be declared a winner and one team would be declared a runner.
Yes, and by team, even if it's a lone wolf,
Yeah.
of course, they would be.
Yeah, yes.
Definitely.
Right. And the second question I had was regarding the mentors.
Yeah.
So we will, like, how would that work? Like, we can choose our own mentors, or like you guys will be helping us with that?
So
Yeah.
we'll be. Yes, Atman, please.
No, go ahead, Manish. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So after you have chosen your problem statement, after we've allotted your problem statement, we'll be providing you mentors according to the tech stack required for the problem statement, and then you can communicate with them.
All right. Yeah, thanks.
Yes, Siddharth.
So we can only choose one of the problem statements, or can we choose more than that?
Yes.
So you will have to give a preference to problem statements, and we will allot you one, and only one
Okay.
would be allotted to you.
Only one would be
Okay.
evaluated. So if you want to do
Yes.
multiple projects, you are more than welcome, but only one of them would be evaluated.
Evaluated. Yes.
Also, Monish, first come first serve. So the cap is yet to be like finalized. We cannot declare the the perfect number, but 23 is an approx number. 23 teams for each problem is an approx statement.
Yeah.
This is the number for the dynamic websites. We are assuming 10 to 15 participants for the static. But let's hope that all of you are motivated enough to make a dynamic website. That would be a good experience. See, even if you are not able to complete it for whatever reasons, you'll always learn something. So you can always give it a try. We'll be sending you a form as soon as this session ends, and you can provide your preferences there. So we want you to go through all the rules and guidelines, all the problem statements once, and then we want you to, put on your preferences. So we'll be sending you out after this session ends.
And we'll also give you sufficient time to do so. There's no hurry. We'll also give you sufficient time.
Yes, Anjani, please continue.
Yeah, and just one more clarification. So the people who are beginners, they can just choose the 5th option and not give their 3 preferences, right? They can just choose that one single option.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Also, I want to add one thing. if you are from a CSE background and like just entered your first or second year, and if you're like if you have a doubt, if you'd like to choose the fifth statement, that is a like static side or the dynamic side, and you're not able to figure it out, then message us on Discord. We'll join the voice channel and we'll discuss. Like, but do not for the sake of being scared, do not miss out this dynamic side problem. Like, don't be afraid of trying new things.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Because you have enough experts, enough mentors, and enough resources, along with 28 days. So you'll be able to make a website, very amazing website in this span of time.
Yeah. So also,
many of us speak. Yeah, Bobby, go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So I would recommend you just learning basics about GitHub if possible, because it will help you a lot for collaboration as well as your own version controlling and preventing you from messing up your own code.
Definitely a very good thing, actually. You can always just push your code on the GitHub. You do not need to know GitHub in deep. You just need to know about the push, pull, and the clone part of the GitHub, and that would be enough for this project at least. And if you choose to deploy it on GitHub, GitHub Pages is like a 2-step process, and you'll be able to do that very quickly as well. We'll be sending out resources for the same too, if you want to learn GitHub.
Yeah, so many of our seniors, mentors, and speakers are with us in this meet. So I would like if some of them could share something with the participants to motivate them.
Yes.
Yes, we have one question.
So just before that, Pratham, you have a question? Please
yes, so this form means this form we have to choose our project and that we have to submit at last. That form you are talking about?
No. So this form, yes. So actually, this form would ask you for preferences. There'll be 5 problem statements. You'll be allowed to give 3 preferences. So you can select any 3 of your choice, and then whichever would be available, whichever would not have filled up the capacity, we'll be allotting it to you. So please choose your preferences very wisely.
And so this form we have to fill after that these sessions will.
Yes.
We will email it to you, and then we'll also give you sufficient time. There is no hurry as such. We'll give you sufficient time to fill the form, and we'll also provide you with a PDF containing all the problem statements in detail. So you can read the problem statements again and think according to your intuition, or think what is best for you and select accordingly.
Also, one more thing, I'm not sure if we mentioned it or not, but Parsha did mention some of the Brownie features, right? So those are not compulsory. You can, of course, add it. And apart from the features that are mentioned in the doc or in the PPT, you can also add features of your own. If you think this is important, or this would score you some extra points, or this is necessary, you can always add extra features that you would like in your application. See, after all, this is your website. You would be putting this website on your resume. So please feel free to add as many features and as many perks in your website.
Yeah, seconded. Yes, Vinay, you were saying something. I mean, it would be really great if the mentors and the seniors present here would, share their experience as beginners, like how did they start and sort of what helped them and their journey.
Yes.
Sure.
Not only juniors, but even we would like to know about your journey, because that would be very motivating for us as well.
Yes, please, Harshil bhai, Kaushal bhai, Devar, please guide us.
Anything
so
yes.
Do you guys have any specific order in which who should go?
No specific order.
Banana Kaushal okay. So yeah, the only thing that I can say, and I've been saying, is just start with something. And we also did the same. We I personally picked up Python, and then I haven't stopped. So yeah, start with something, try something new, break stuff, make stuff. And yeah, that's something I would like to say to you guys. Baki journey ma to શું છે બધાની like you start coding and then you keep coding, you find new stuff, explore new frameworks.
Yeah.
Yes.
Indeed insightful.
Harshul bhai.
Like basically તમે start કરી દીધો એકવાર પછી like there are many options, not only just website development, like you can do many other stuffs related to coding. You just need to start from basic. So and this platform, this WMC is a very good platform, let me tell you. So if we would have the winners, yeah, Pars is also here, we can also share something. This helps you so much, like you learn so much stuff by your own, and like when there's a deadline, you tend to do stuff fast and try to fix it on your own, and then again try doing the same stuff again and again, and then you learn a lot of stuff on your own. And if there's no deadline, like sometimes we don't get motivated enough, and we think like આ બધું પછી કરીશું, અત્યારે નહીં કરી તો ચાલશે એના જેવું. This is
Agreed.
very good platform.
Definitely.
Yes.
So are there any more doubts, suggestions, reviews, anything is welcome? All right, so you can always contact to us on via email, on Discord, or on WhatsApp. You can post your queries even after the session ends, and you realize that you have a question, you have a query regarding any of the points or any of the problem statements. Just write to us on the Discord server, ping any one of us, or write us on the WhatsApp chat. Okay.
So, and we'll share all the details in the mail today. So don't worry, you will get everything in detail. And also the first session of HTML CSS is on 20th June, Monday at 4:30 p.m. We'll also share the meeting details with you via mail. And yes, so we hope to see everyone there. And yes, so the journey has begun. All the best, everyone. And we hope that you're going to have great fun.
I have one last point to put. So as a programming club, we are always looking out for people who are enthusiastic about building a community, and also with a strong knowledge about competitive programming and development and stuff. So maybe this can be something in which you prove yourself what you know, and we'll be supervising the performance.
Right.
So that's it from our side today. Thank you for joining. See you at Monday on the first session of HTML CSS at 4:30 p.m. The meeting details would be shared. Everything would be shared. Don't worry. Sorry, Manish, you were saying something.
I was just addressing Pratham's question that the form is for giving your preference for the problem statement. So you do not need to attend all the sessions and then provide this. You can fill the form in these upcoming 2 days, and we'll be sending you a very detailed email as soon as the session ends.
Yes.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for participating and for showing up. And we are looking forward to very amazing websites and very cool submissions from your end. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All the best, everyone, and have a great day.